I hope that you're having a fantastic day and are stoked for some exciting news about EOS. I'm your host, Dan Singjoy, and today we'll discuss EOS media coverage, many developments, and much more. So let's get right into it. First thing we'll discuss is the media coverage from Wired and Forbes and many other publications. Then we'll also discuss the Yeild Blue Paper preview, Pomelo Season 2 analysis, Coolwave Capital newsletter, Eden Chief Delegate meetings, weekly EOSIO coalition meetings, weekly Mandel upgrade meetings, and the EOS community fireside chat. So the first topic that we'll discuss today is mainstream media coverage for EOS. So this week, there's been lots of widespread coverage about EOS and many of the most popular business and crypto publications in the world, including Forbes and Wired, with many millions of followers. The world is beginning to realize the huge potential of EOS to create positive global change and provide benefits for all. And it's great to see this wider education and better understanding about EOS from all these leading media outlets. In particular, it seems like there are two big stories about EOS that these publications are really starting to understand and now sharing with audiences around the world. So one of these stories is how EOS is succeeding independently of former developers, Block One. And then the other story that's really big is the upcoming EOS EVM, which is set to be the most performant EVM in the world and can completely revolutionize the blockchain ecosystem. So regarding the first story, we have the story from Wired that we covered during last week's Hot Sauce. So for many years, people have conflated EOS and Block One, but of course, EOS community is very different from Block One in so many ways. And so it's great to see Wired sharing this story, and many other publications have also followed suit too and shared lots of great stories as well. So this article from Wired, we won't go into too much. Check out the episode from last week for a more in detailed coverage of it. But basically, it summarizes how Block One raised $4 billion in the largest ICO of all time. And then the EOS community took control of our future independently of misaligned corporate interest. So it's a very lengthy and well-researched article with that details much of the history between EOS and Block One and the unfulfilled commitments of Block One and the new leadership of the EOS network, and how the EOS Network Foundation is helping to make EOS flourish as one of the largest and most independent DAOs in the world. So check that out. It's quite well informed, and there's lots of helpful things to learn from it. And of course, it's great to see that Wired shared it with over 10 million followers. And then also this week, we also had news from Forbes too. So Forbes has 20 million followers. And they also wrote about how EOS is independent of Block One with the new leadership, and also focused more on the EVM components as well. So we'll talk about that a bit more as well. First off, I'll show you some other articles. So in addition to the Wired article, lots of crypto publications have been writing about EOS and the new leadership with the ENF. So we saw articles from Coinpedia and the Crypto Bulls Club and Coin Checkup, Crypto News Flash, ZY Crypto, Crypto Daily, all of these publications showing the story of the EOS community and how we are taking and we have the power of the EOS community in our hands now, independently of former developers. So that's really exciting that people are finally understanding this like crucial detail about EOS, and it's really important. And it's great to see that so many people are learning about it too, because these publications have a lot of reach. So in addition to those, there's also the Forbes article, which you can check here. The Forbes article is generally more about the EOS EVM and EOS EVM in general. It writes how the EOS EVM iteration, or the Trust EVM, is the slickest EVM yet, with performance that will put Ethereum imitators in the shade. So that's really cool. It seems like the Forbes team has been doing their research about Trust EVM and know how about the rich features that make it super easy for developers to build on EOS, and also, of course, how Trust EVM operates with the industry-leading throughput and scalability and security and composability and reliability of EOS. So yeah, it's fantastic to see these huge publications telling the story of EOS and helping everybody understand the benefits of EOS. And I'm grateful to see these articles, and I'm looking forward to seeing much more widespread media coverage from crypto media and widespread media outlets around the world as everybody learns about all these exciting developments in EOS, both these ones and all the other great things that are going on in the EOS ecosystem. So check out the links in the description to learn more, and also consider sharing them too. These are helpful articles to share with friends and family to help people understand about EOS, especially people who are familiar with these big publications. And then also help people understand the benefits of EOS by liking this video, subscribing to EOS Nation to see more great videos here, and also sharing this video with friends. Help everybody enjoy the benefits of EOS. Welcome everybody. I see lots of excitement in the chat. EOS Nation, smash the likes and subscribe. Absolutely. I'm happy to see the EOS Nation, EOS family here. Hey, Andres and Ian and Love Handles. What's up? Daniel Keys. We do have a spicy episode. We do have a very spicy episode, a hot episode, as Veronica knows. Hey, Veronica, and hey, everybody. It's good to see you all here. And let's get to some more spicy topics. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, also I want to show you this too. There's lots of details you can learn about the EOS EVM we've talked about in previous episodes, so check that out. So many exciting things with the EOS EVM coming up, but we'll talk more about that later. And there's lots of exciting things to discuss. First though, we'll discuss going along with EOS EVM. Something that will be ready by the time the EOS EVM launch is the Yeild Blue Paper. So this week, the EOS Network Foundation released a preview of the Yeild Blue Paper, which is highly anticipated in the EOS community. It's a community initiative designed to increase opportunities for dApp developers to be rewarded for growing helpful applications on EOS, and also for users and investors and anybody to help earn yield and grow wealth on EOS. So that's very helpful. Everybody wants to grow wealth, and that's helpful for everybody. So I'm very glad to see this progress. The Yeild work group has designed and proposed a liquidity rewards program for EOS, which is an on-chain program that directly measures investments in TVL or total volume locked on EOS and rewards increased economic activity based upon how much volume is locked in different DeFi contracts. This publication will be released on May 26th, and is currently undergoing final formatting for translation to Chinese and Korean. There's a blog post here that's really helpful. I love the art and the design. There's also a new site from the EOS Network Foundation, which we'll speak of another time, but it's got a really sleek design. It's really cool. So this is published here. And yeah, so I recommend checking out this blog post for a lot more details. You can see the Yeild core contributors with great teams like EOS Nation, Origin, DeFi Box, Greymass, EOS Asia, Pizza DeFi, Joe Lewis, a bunch of really great people working on this. You can also see the table of contents. Like there's a beautiful design with a whale and the ocean kind of signifying the deep liquidity that the Yeild Blue Paper can help bring to EOS. So I love to see the design, and also the table of contents looks really helpful too, or it looks like, well, I mean, table of contents is helpful, but the contents that it's showing look like there's a lot of really helpful information. And if it's anything like the previous blue papers, then I think it will be very, very packed with lots of helpful information. So table of contents, there's 69 pages in this blue paper. It's quite informative. It starts out with an introduction to the paper and a team, and then introduction to DeFi in general. And then there's lots of research about similar liquidity incentives that have been very successful in other blockchains in the past, such as Phantom and Polygon, and details about the incentive rewards program on EOS that's being proposed by the Yeild team, and also data modeling and risk analysis, treasury structure and funding, and some deliverables like an application portal, smart contracts for Yeild and also Yeild analytics and reports. You could check out the preview of the blog post to learn much more. I mean, the full blog post, or the full report is coming out next week, but this blog post has a lot of helpful details and previews about it. So blog post talks about the importance of DeFi and EOS and how it will bring yield to EOS and reward directly based on total value block like we're talking about. And there's also a brief overview of how developers can participate to apply in the Yeild program. And then the applications will be reviewed by a committee, and people will be eligible to claim EOS rewards based on TVL. There's also previews about how this will be funded and governed. And then there's also some previews and hints about deliverables. So there's a preview about the different kinds of rewards that people can earn for different kinds of, or the different kinds of rewards that developers and projects, I should say, can earn by building these DeFi apps or just attracting yield. So you can check out the chart here. And then there's also a great preview of the portal too. So that's one of the things that the Yeild team is releasing, which will be a portal, will be a website with lots of information that shows all about different apps. So it looks very informative, very helpful. And yeah, I'm very excited to see this. it's a super helpful program that the O+ team is building. And I'm very thankful. I know a lot of people in the community are really excited about this, and this can really help grow the EOS ecosystem and help people grow wealth. So that's awesome. It's great to see this empowering developers and also empowering users of EOS. So thank you so much. Looking forward to that. That's coming on 6 days now. Check it out. There's also a great tweet that came out, and lots of actually, I skipped over it, but there's lots of great videos that you can check out where Denny Carriere, who's at the EOS Nation team, and Yves and Zach have been speaking about the EOS+, so you can learn more about it at the bottom of the blog post, and also these videos, links in the description. There's lots of details we've been listening to on Fireside chats, so check them out. And yeah, because also DeFi Box made a great tweet about it too. So looking forward to seeing that come out in 6 days. Beautiful design, beautiful liquidity, awesome stuff coming. And yep. Also on the topic of empowering developers to build great apps on DeFi and really all kinds of apps is Pomelo. So Pomelo season 2 is now in the books, and the Pomelo team shared the season 2 analysis report that showed the distribution of funds in the matching pool. So overall, season 2 has been a huge success and very exciting. In total, there was over $1 million, about $1,060,000 raised to support public goods to benefit the EOSIO ecosystem. There was 888, however many eights to of the matching pool from the ENF, and then also 5,000 EOS worth of 5,000 EOS from Pomelo season 2 NFT sales, and 3,000 EOS from contribution fees. And I think that there's still about $125,000 coming from the ENF as well. And then the EOS community donated approximately $150,000 to other projects in the EOS community. So really helpful and great to see a huge growth from season 1. Very exciting. This report is also stacked with lots of exciting details. So after the intro of the report, you can see pie charts for the matching pools by category. You can see approximately 2/3 of the public good funding went to ecosystem growth, infrastructure, and DeFi, and see the different percentages for each different category here. You can also see the matching pool distribution by region. So you could see East Asia had almost 43% of funds raised, and North America about 30%, Europe about 18%. Very detailed and very informative information here. Thanks, big shout out to the Pomelo team for sharing all this great information in a very transparent and detailed way. You can also see the distribution among over 130 projects. You could see some of the most popular projects in terms of how much fund they raised, like EOS Web Wallet, Wombat Dungeon Master, and Anchor Wallet each raised somewhere around 5% of the total matching pool, or somewhere around $50,000 in funds in EOS. So that's really helpful. Grant donors will soon receive instructions to claim the matching allocations. This article also shows some projects that were disqualified or had some reduced funding because they didn't follow the rules. So one of the rules that we talk about a lot is quid pro quo, which means that grant owners basically can't offer benefits to grant owners in exchange for contributions. That's against the rules of Pomelo. So several of the qualifications, or several of the projects, were disqualified. I think there was 4 projects that were disqualified for this. They apologize, I think, very quickly, and Pomelo team is working to make this more transparent in the future. So you can learn more about this and different kinds of quid pro quos that aren't allowed. You can also learn about civil attack and collusions, that there seemed to be some deceptive behavior on the behalf of some of these projects, so they were disqualified. And then there's also some collusion that was evidenced too. The Pomelo team does a lot of research to find out, to make sure the public goods go to the most helpful public goods, or to find out that the funding goes to the most helpful public goods rather. So great to see all this research. You can also see the top 10 grants overall and all the funds raised. And yeah, there's lots of details here, super helpful. There's also a couple links here, so you could see a very detailed graph if you want to really crunch into the data of who donated to what here. That's all the links. There's a great article link from Eve LaRose about Pomelo and how profoundly helpful funding public goods on EOS is with Pomelo for EOS and humanity as a whole. Talks about public goods and so forth. So there's lots of great things to read here. And then there's also a really cool interactive chart too. EOS Nation has a lot of data where you can check out all the different funding sources and who raised what and who donated to what. So lots of helpful data here. Love to see it. And yeah, I'm thrilled about Pomelo season 2. It's been huge growth, both in terms of funding since since season 1, and then just in terms of how much it helps the community, brings the community together, helps people build reputations. So thank you so much to the Pomelo team for putting this together. Thank you so much to all of the great builders and creators in the EOS ecosystem for making these public goods. Pomelo season 2, the granting, the process to claim funding will come soon, and then Pomelo season 3 is coming in the next couple months. So I encourage everybody to do research on this report, learn more about Pomelo, and start preparing for Pomelo season 2 to start creating and funding and building lots of great public goods for EOS and EOSIO for next season. So yeah, big shout out to Pomelo and everybody who's doing this, doing public goods funding in EOS. Thank you so much. And also another way you can help, in addition to help funding public goods, is, like I said before, liking this video, subscribing to see more videos, share with friends. This will help fund public goods for the world and EOS. And also, while you're here today, everybody, I see lots of comments here. Again, thanks everybody for all the support. And thank you for explaining. Yeild Plus, absolutely Spirito. Great to see you here. And great to see everybody with a love for Pomelo. Awesome to see, indeed, indeed. Another thing everybody in the chat can do, and everybody who's here today can do to win some party crackers, is go to the recent tweet from EOS Nation and type in your EOS account name, the recent tweet being the tweet about the hot sauce today, and then you can get a chance to win some party crackers and win some great EOS NFTs. So check that out. We have a lot of great EOS NFTs there. And yeah, thanks again for everybody for being here. And let's move on to the next topic. Next topic we have also about media coverage for EOS. So we have Coolwave Capital Newsletter 54. So Coolwave Capital is a great it's a great publication and capital firm managed by or partner Taylor Riker, and they've been doing incredible work for the EOS community. They recently returned from a long hiatus, and they released a great blog article entitled Bridging Between EOS and Terra Luna with Funding and Developer Tools. So I've been a big fan of the newsletters for a year. They have great design, and I love the waves, and I love the Coolwave Capital, and the writing is excellent about EOS. The article is very well written, and it discusses a lot of topics that we talk about here on the Hot Sauce, and also in light of the recent downfall of Terra Luna and many developers in Terra Luna that are looking for some solutions that EOS can provide. General thesis of the article is that EOS should attract new developers from Terra and other networks to just to grow EOS and help everybody in general. And two ways that we can do that that are very helpful is, one, to help promote that there's a wealth of great funding opportunities available on EOS now that were never available before, such as Pomelo and the ENF grant framework, and Eden and Helios, with Fractally coming soon. And there's also lots of upgrades with developer tools that are being developed more effectively than ever before, such as the upcoming EOS EVM and all the blue papers with the wallets and APIs and audits, EOSIO coalitions, Mandel upgrades, and many great teams building on EOS, such as the ENF engineering team and contractors being hired by the ENF and OCI and so forth, Graymass, Fractally, all these great teams. The article also shows a very interesting screenshot that was posted by Zach this week, showing 5 teams who already have applied for the ENF grant framework. And all of these grant applications are transparent for everybody to see, and you can even see the commentary between the grant requester and the grant evaluator. So it's great to see all this work being done in the open. And yeah, the article is very well written and detailed. I recommend checking it out. I appreciate Coolwave's Capital newsletter and work very much. So thank you, big shout out here. And I agree with the conclusion too. We have a lot of great things to promote as far as all the great funding sources and great developer tools that are in EOS. And we can really help out developers and creators who are in need on Terra Luna and all around the world in all sorts of blockchain ecosystems and all sorts of people who aren't familiar with blockchain yet. So really, really helpful things in this article from Coolwave Capital, and a great summary of all the exciting developments going on EOS overall. And I always love to see the waves too, of course. Waves are super cool. Coolwave Capital. The next topic that we'll discuss is the Eden Chief Delegates. So the Eden Chief Delegates meeting. So the Eden Chief Delegates met for the 5th meeting last week and shared some very big visions for the future of Eden. And these proposals sparked a lot of interesting conversations in the Eden chats and also in the Eden Town Hall last week. So some highlights of the Chief Delegate meeting included, well, Michael O'Sullivan was leading as a chair of this meeting. He created some very detailed spreadsheets and motioned to request double funding from the ENF, approximately 200,000 EOS, and also make a bylaw to increase the monthly disbursement of the Eden Treasury from approximately 5% to 15%. And the way he proposed it is that the Eden delegate funding would remain about the same, but the funding would go to specific circles for specific goals, such as like a marketing circle or team and a technical team and an admin and support team and circles, so forth too. So the spreadsheets are very detailed. I definitely recommend checking this out. You could check it out on Odyssey and YouTube. As always, they're really well produced and really filled with lots of exciting content and ideas. Several of those motions about the increased funding were seconded by other chief delegates. And so I'm very interested to see where this leads. This could be very hopeful for EOS and Eden to help coordinate and fund Eden to do amazing things for both the EOS community as the world as a whole and democracy, because Eden can be so helpful for everybody. In addition to the motions for funding, there was also talk about maybe forming trust legal entities for Eden and Eden delegates funding their own projects on Pomelo, new Eden Twitter accounts that you should check out, funding block producers with the, or voting for block producers with the Eden Treasury, doing the Eden process more often, bylaw updates, Eden NFTs. So lots of great topics. We also discussed a lot of these during the town hall this week too. So Bywire News has been hosting Eden town halls that have been really helpful and really exciting. I've been co-hosting these with Felix Rees, and we're doing these every Sunday at 16 UTC on Twitter Spaces. This week we had some really great conversations with Jesse from the Bees and Chief Delegate Chuck McDonald, and then Patrick Schmidt and Joshua Seymour and Douglas Butner and many other leaders and people who are interested in the EOS community. I recommend checking these out, joining the discussions to help guide the future of EOS and Eden and democracy. Hope to see everybody there. They're really fun. And as always, you can always watch the Chief Delegate meetings on Odyssey and YouTube to learn more. And you can also read detailed summaries from Eden Chief Delegate meetings on Bywire to learn about all these exciting details. Chris Barnes has been doing really great work to summarize all the progress in text format, so you can learn about it in lots of different ways, all the exciting information and progress that's going on in Eden. So yeah, really great to see. Thanks everybody in Eden for all this great work. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing the progress and development of Eden in the coming weeks. Also, many more meetings to just foster progress in EOS and EOSIO in general. So one of the meetings that's making a lot of exciting progress is the weekly EOSIO coalition meetings. So the EOSIO coalition met again to discuss, plan, and build the future of EOSIO. Since forming the EOSIO coalition last month, or maybe 2 months ago, and pledging an $8 million annual budget and funding a MSIG treasury account on EOS with $2 million USDT, the ENF has released 2 bi-weekly reports, which show lots of exciting and helpful progress, developing the open source EOSIO software for the benefit of everybody. During this week's discussion, there was a meeting that was just published yesterday. There was talk about voting on wallet SDKs and faster finality RFPs, or requests for proposals, that will enable developers to bid to help improve EOS bid on project contracts. There's also talk about communicating these RFPs and committees and reporting budgets, and maybe the idea of Chintai participating in this election, and also EOSIO rebranding, which is coming up soon, which we spoke about the Fireside chat, and the Scalability Plus Blue Paper, which seems like it's coming up soon. You can read the reports, and you can also watch the full meetings at the links in the description. You can watch all of the meetings on the Everything EOS YouTube channel, and check out detailed descriptions in the coalition reports, which provide really helpful summaries of all of the latest progress. So it's really great to see all these developments going on with EOSIO and all of these great networks working together. And I'm looking forward to seeing more. And luckily for us, we also have lots more this week and today and right now from the weekly Mandel upgrade meeting. So this week, 20 EOS community members, or leaders really, but also members, met for the 15th Mandel upgrade meeting to share the latest updates regarding the upcoming EOS Mandel consensus upgrade. So during this week's meeting, the participants discussed D.U.N.E, which is the new development environment, which is a great development that will really help developers build on EOS, I think. And then there was also results from the EOS developers, or rather results from the platform support survey, where many EOS developers shared their preference for different platforms that they'd like to build on. There is some detailed graphs and graphics here to show the preference of developers, and you can also check out more about D.U.N.E, which has some cool art and lots of helpful information developers on the GitHub page. There was also talk about the API plus transaction lifecycle features delivered by OCI. They're being tested now and they're delivered. Testing is going well from what I hear. And there's also lots of testing from EOSphere, EOS USA, and other block producers, and discussing upcoming tests. And then also this week, the ENF released this great short clip from last week's Fireside chat, and Eve showing a big smile and thumbs up, which I love to see, explaining the difference between this consensus upgrade and other hard forks. So he shared a very helpful distinction and why it matters. So I recommend checking that out. And as always, you could check out these full talks. You could watch YouTube to see the full description. They're also posted on Odyssey too, I think. And then you can you can check out the timestamps in the description to find the topics that interest you most. And then there's also summary notes too on GitHub too, which you can find in the description as well. So you can read and watch and see all the great progress from the Mandel meetings, from the Mandel upgrade meetings. I suppose we could just call them the Mandel upgrade meetings. Either one works. And the final topic that we'll discuss today is the EOS community Fireside chat. Ha 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 plus. So yeah, but anyway, the EOS community Fireside chat. As always, we meet every Wednesday in the EOS community, and we meet with many wonderful and amazing and incredible community members in EOS, and we share very fascinating and insightful conversations. They're very fun too, very interesting to hear what everybody thinks. This week, we discussed lots of topics, including the upcoming branding options for the EOSIO Coalition, the Pomelo Season 2 analysis report, Chintai updates with special guest Philip Hamnet, CTO of Chintai. Always great to hear from him. Yeild plus Blue Paper updates, and also the mainstream media coverage that we spoke about before. Algorithmic and collateralized stablecoins in light of the collapse of Terra. Concerns about bullish and block one, and possibilities of Eden blockchain and Eden tokens. So it's a great talk. As always, you can listen to the full discussion from this week's Fireside chat on YouTube, and you can also check out the links in the description. Although it seems like something's freezing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you can scroll down and then check out the links to find out what interests you most and check it out real quick. You can also watch short clips like we spoke about before with Eve and D.U.N.E and Zach and many great leaders in the EOS community on the Everything EOS YouTube channel. There's a great playlist. You could check out many great playlists, but one of the great playlists you could check out is the Fireside Chats, where you can see lots of great clips that are coming out, including from Philip Hamnet from Chintai. So yeah, check him out. And also thanks to everybody who's been participating in these Fireside Chats as well, and all the great work in EOS, of course, in general. Lots of great discussions. I always love to hear it. And yeah, thanks to everybody who's watching the Hot Sauce too. We meet for the EOS Community Fireside Chats every Wednesday at 19 UTC. Everyone's welcome to attend and ask questions and speak directly with some of the best builders and leaders on EOS, including Eve LaRose and Zach Gall, Brendan Lovejoy, Daniel Keys, who is in the chat, CEO of EOS Nation. I see lots of great comments in the chat too. There's so much stuff going on here. I love to see all the action, activity, and great comments. I see Andrew Ware, who's been doing great work with the community and EOS Nation. Great way to start the day on the West Coast. Absolutely. Who needs coffee when you have the hot sauce? Exactly, Andrew. I love it. It's a bit spicier, quite a bit spicier than coffee, but coffee can help too. I did have some coffee, and it was good to have both. So yeah, it's great to see where everybody's listening from. Great to see Dave in the chat, and Sang from Indonesia. What's up? And Sebastian from Hamburg, Germany, hamburger hot sauce booyah. I love to see the jokes and the humor from the EOS community as well. We have representation from Canada, people out in Chintai and Web3 and EOS. Thanks everybody so much for being here and sharing all the great stuff in the chat and doing all the great work for the EOS community. I love to see it. I'm thrilled to be here sharing this exciting progress with you, and I'm looking forward to sharing so much more coming up on the EOS Hot Sauce next week. Hope to see you all on the Twitter Spaces coming up on Wednesday as well. Until then, remember to keep it spicy. Remember to keep really spicy, and like and subscribe and share to help grow EOS, help make the best experience possible for everybody. Go EOS. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Go EOS, and yeah, love it. Thanks, everybody, so much. Have a great day. Go EOS. Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.